Tubers and trolls, welcome back to Telesplash Gaming. I'm Chris. Today we're trolling hard. I'm on my own. I've got a few games I've been holding grudges against for years. These are terrible games that we played. We thought we loved them. You check them out. It's not a matter of them holding up. There's a ton of games that don't hold up, but they were still classics. They were still great. These are games that were never good. You know it. I know it. Come on. Let's be real.
Search your feelings, you know it to be true.
Starting off this list is going to be Altered Beast. Released back in '88 for the arcade. It was ported to quite a few home consoles. It's a side-scrolling beat-em-up. Very generic. If they didn't have one redeeming factor, it has one. That's it. What's that factor? It's the orbs that turn you into a werewolf, that turn you into a flying monster, turn you into a beast that can throw, these random fireballs. That's all Altered Beast was. If it didn't have that, it'd be 100% garbage. Now it's just stinky trash. I put this game in thinking, oh, it's been a long time since I played Altered Beast. Yeah, that was a mistake. I beat it because I had to, just to prove to myself how bad it was. Don't waste your time playing it, because I already know you did. Next game on my list, another arcade classic. This one used the old Mortal Kombat style digitized graphics super early. It was Pit Fighter. We had this pizza parlor in Moses Lake, Washington, where I'm from, named Chico's. Now, we spent a lot of time at Chico's because it was a fun place. A lot of people went there after sports. We went there for just get-togethers with family and friends, birthday parties. But they had Pit Fighter. Now, Pit Fighter, as a kid, was so cool because you got to play these big old dudes and you got to beat up people from the crowd. You got to beat up other, big old monstrous, roided out freaks. Well, the game sucked then. It sucks now. That game seems so cool, getting shanked with a knife, beaten with a stick, just working your way up the levels, getting all the cash, seeing all the women in the crowd going crazy. It was a fad with digitized graphics, and it jumped on that, and it ate so many of my quarters of that pizza parlor. But that game wasn't good. There's a reason there's no adults playing it, because it sucked. All kids thinking they were cool, and I was one of them. Ooh, this one's going to hurt a little bit. I can already feel the thorns coming at me from across the internet. Shadows of the Empire for the Nintendo 64. Released in '96. It had the most amazing opening level in gaming history. One of the greatest opening levels. Truly. Taking that, snow speeder, wrapping up the AT-AT or the AT-ATs, whatever you want to call them. That was cool. It set a tone that was amazing. It was awesome. Except the rest of the game sucked. It wasn't good. We played through it. We put in hours. We tried to beat the time limits, tried to collect all the, tokens or whatever it was we had to do. We only had a limited amount of lives. The game was hard. The controls were not great. You had the jetpack, except you flew all over the place. You couldn't even control the thing. And don't get me wrong, it's fun to watch speedruns. I like watching it. The game wasn't good. The game was bad. To be honest, if it wasn't Star Wars, we wouldn't have cared. We just loved that opening level. But the actual first-person, third-person stuff, not good. Ooh, getting to the next one. One of the all-time greats in the DC universe. The Dark Knight himself, Batman Forever. Wow. What a terrible game to follow up an equally terrible movie. Batman Returns was a great beat-em-up. Batman Forever, ooh, as a kid, it was so cool. I couldn't wait to rent it. I remember renting it, going to the store, giving them my hard-earned $3 to rent that game for a week. Oh my goodness. The digitized graphics, again, from Mortal Kombat, that trend was still continuing, and we just had to get the real-looking Batman and Robin with the garbage. The foreground, the background was bad, the gameplay was terrible. You're throwing uppercuts like you're Kano from Mortal Kombat, except the enemies don't die. You're getting blocked behind pillars, you're using crazy button combinations so you can try to use your, grappling hook. The game was not good. It looked kind of cool with the digitized graphics, I'll give it that. But the gameplay was bad. The only redeeming quality this one had was the co-op, because you could play with a buddy. So you could just be, in equal agony as you're trying to beat this game, which I never did. although I rented it multiple times because I thought it was great. I kept forgetting. Every time I rented it, I took it back. I said, this game's terrible. I rented it again thinking it was great, but it never got better. You know it, and I know it. It's the truth. Game is terrible. I'm seeing a trend here. It's beat 'em ups. I don't know. I didn't think about that until I started reading off my list. Fighting Force for the PlayStation. Now, this was supposed to be a Streets of Rage 4 for the Sega Saturn. Originally, they didn't port it to Sega Saturn. They removed Streets of Rage and turned it into just a generic beat 'em up. Now, this game at the time seemed really cool because, you know, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle arcade game, the Double Dragons, even the Battletoads, as hard and as terrible as that game kind of is. So we got to go from the 2D to the 3D, and having a co-op 3D beat 'em up seemed really cool. And at the time it kind of was, and it's not a matter of the game not holding up. It just sucked. It wasn't good then. It's not good now. It really had terrible controls. The camera angle was rough. I mean, nothing was really that good about the game. Dreamcast did get it, but it didn't matter. They couldn't save it. Fighting Force seemed like a cool idea, but it was terrible. But I know you played it. I played it. Didn't even have it. I just played it. All my friends had it because it was the only really cool beat 'em up at the time that was 3D. We thought it was so neat. So, yeah. Moving on. All right, hear me out. Pac-Man, but not the arcade. Arcade is the GOAT, one of the greatest of all time. No denying the greatness that's Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man. We're talking about the mediocre, not even the right word, port for the Atari 2600. Look at this trash. Does that even look? That looks like something you'd get from like the Tiger electronic games with color. This game, for the Atari 2600, had the ghosts flickering, the mazes were changed around, the graphics looked like they'd, I mean, Pac-Man wasn't some graphical beast to begin with, and so to condense that down to an even worse form, it's like turning a game right now from the PS4 and putting it to 8-bit. Except they're taking an arcade game that was already pretty much simple and crunching that down into like a couple pixels that just looked like trash. It sold. My dad had it. My first system was a Nintendo, but he had the Atari when I was like, as far as I can remember. I never played it, but I remember him having Pac-Man. I'm sure it was rough. It was bad. Bump, 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 bump. Oh yeah, we're talking about TMNT, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, for the NES. Ooh, this one's gonna be debatable. Even I still like this game. But I know it's garbage. I know it is. I mean, not even counting the water level, which I bet you 3/4 of people never made it past that level. I've never beaten the game. I made it past the water level, but the game is just not that great. It really isn't. I mean, Hulkamania and Turtlemania, those are the big things in the 80s and the early 90s, okay? They could sell anything. If this game didn't have the turtles, and you put in just 4 random characters, the game would have tanked. But no, it was a huge seller. We all had it. Everybody had this game. I played it. I didn't have it. Everybody except me had it, but I played it more than probably anybody. My cousin had it. I played it at his house all the time. Heck, I even turned it on and played it a year ago, just for fun, just to remember how terrible it was. And you know what? I still like it, but it's terrible. Just being honest. Moving on. Ooh, the last game on our list. Kinect Adventures for the Xbox 360. I believe this was a pack-in game. Now you're going to say, hold on, that game was so fun. It was so fun. Yeah, was it? No. It was terrible. It was garbage. It was a stinking pile of trash that we were forced to play when we bought our Xbox. And you know what we did? Oh, we played it. And you know what's even better? It even took pictures as you're playing the game, so you could find your goofy self and upload them to your Facebook or Instagram or whatever, your MySpace at the time, because, you know, it was so funny, so cute. The game wasn't fun. Was it 5 mini games? Got to collect these different pins or whatever, and you can go online and play. We played a game because it was free, and we all like free stuff. But at the end, it was a fad. It was before the VR. You know, VR is pretty cool, but this was like the entry level, like motion control before VR. And yeah, Kinect Adventures was not fun, really. It seemed cool. Three of us, me and 2 of my grown friends in our 20s. Oh, we played it. We were laughing. It was a great time. Shouldn't have been. Game sucked. I know it. You know it. Alright, you guys. I hope you had fun watching this video. I was a little trolly, a little bit snarky today, but you know what? That's how it goes. I know we've all played most of these games. We loved them at the time. They ate our quarters. The nostalgia is just burning a hole through my little heart right now. But let's be honest with ourselves. I could have put 30 more games on here, and this might just be the first video in a line of them, because this is true. These games were really not good, even though we invested time and money and our parents' quarters at the arcade. So I hope you guys liked it. It was fun making this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please, as always, like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you guys think. What games do you know you put time into that were absolute garbage? Take it easy.